3 verse 1. No domain expansion, low output, a fried brain, a feeling of defeat in his mind. But even losing an arm did not stop Satoru freaking Gojo from bodying his opponents.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
However, the winner is still unclear. Well, in my book, he is my winner. But remember Ryu, the sorcerer with the highest curse energy output in all of the Culling games? He tells Yuta that he's too soft. Ryu explains that to reach the level of Sukuna, whom he likens to a calamity and natural disaster, one needs to be more than just a sorcerer or a cursed spirit. This is reinforced by Sukuna's own response to Itadori in chapter 214, when he asks Sukuna why does he spread misery. His response was, why are you so weak and cling to life? This is where Yuji was reminded that people like Sukuna will always be curses and killing humans is natural for him. These people shed all likeness to others and only work through overwhelming aggression, as Ryu put it. However, it is important to note that by overwhelming aggression, it means to win at any cost. This is what Sukuna, the king of curses, displays. We all know that he would have died 4 times over by now in his fight against Gojo, but it's his utility of the 10 Shadows curse technique that Megumi would have never been able to do, and his expertise and talent and power, which is making him an equal to Gojo to win this battle. Think about it. In the end, if Sukuna does win, what will people remember? Sukuna won, and history is written by the victor.
Sensational.
Sukuna has always thought of winning, no matter what happens, even displaying the difference between someone who truly wants to win and who doesn't in his fight against Jogo. Remember that Jogo had accepted that he could never square up to Gojo and Sukuna. That's why he didn't bother expanding his domain expansion, as he had PTSD from his defeat earlier. Sukuna told him you could have burnt the world asunder, and if you didn't flock together with other cursed spirits. Gojo too, through his fight against Toji, displayed his unwavering desire to be victorious. He himself stated that he wasn't fighting for Riko anymore. It was his desire to be strong. It was that need to win that made these two calamities. Gojo and Sukuna's definition of victory are very different. For Gojo, it's just that he has to defeat Sukuna and leave Kenjaku for the rest of them. But in the case of Sukuna, despite winning against Gojo, he will have no second to rest to go up against all of them without a break. And that's when Hakairi points out what our community has been calling out every week, that Sukuna possesses a trump card for anyone who tries to join the battle. And well, this canon fodder also exists. Sukuna is letting Mahoraga and Agito do all his work. He admits that he's keeping Gojo engaged so that he can't use Hollow Purple attack because he wouldn't survive it anymore. The bad news for Sukuna fans just doesn't stop, because he even states that the only reason he could tank the 200% Hollow Purple at the beginning of the fight was because of him being 2.5 miles away. So despite reinforcing his arms, he lost one of them, only adding credibility to the fact that a Hollow Purple at point blank range means Sukuna is dead meat. Poetic, I would say, given how much he is into cannibalism, you know what I'm saying? However, as Gojo would put it, Sukuna is being protected like a kid by his parents, Mahoraga and Agito. Literally. Sukuna commands Mahoraga that it's not what I want to see. You're my shadow, not Megumi's. Show me what you've got. Megumi's life update just got worse. Not only is he a vegetable if he ever comes back, but he's gonna wake up with no Shikigami to his technique. Anyway, this statement from him literally rang a bell in Mahoraga that there is no doubt that Sukuna has now completely made 10 Shadows his own and can use it in ways Megumi wouldn't even begin to imagine. He's not only tamed it, unlike Megumi, but he's also pouring in vast amounts of curse energy to make it more powerful than it can even imagine, which is why Mahoraga shouldn't disappoint him. And boy, does it not. because with one spin of the wheel, it copied Sukuna's overpowered dismantle technique and cut off Gojo's right arm.
Fix it, fix it, fix it.
This is terrible news because Gojo fans watching him get cut up everywhere, even his arm at this point, yet somehow his freaking shirt is still unscathed. Why is his shirt still intact? Where's his clothes made? Tell me, please.
I'd rather die before I come in love.
Okay, but the actual bad news is that Gojo's healing through reverse curse technique is awfully weak and slow right now, and he has to fight two beasts. This is the exact moment Sukuna chose to jump from the shadows and thrash Gojo together, landing a clean kick right in his face. But Gojo brutally bodies Agito, even mocking it because it is too weak to be in this fight, and hits it with a maximum output blue attack. It's the beginning of the end. 41 seconds from now, Agito is destroyed. Shinjuku is completely ravaged, all from Gojo firing another hollow purple. On top of that, Gojo is healing his arm in this panel that you might have missed. So even though we are 11 chapters into this fight, no one actually knows the outcome of it, as both characters are on their final lifeline. The red flag for Sukuna is set in place because another hollow purple would be fatal for him. But this fight has eerie parallels to Netero vs Miriam. Since Gojo has lost an arm, would he lose a leg next? The action of Gojo annihilating Shinjuku and spelling out Sukuna's end is also similar to Netero detonating a bomb that sealed Miriam's fate. And we already know that Akutami is a huge fan of Hunter x Hunter and even referenced it multiple times in this fight. So it won't be out of the question for him to take some inspiration for the ending climax of what is meant to be. But to enjoy more peak fiction, why not check out our video regarding Boruto's time skip? It has finally begun after 7 years.